What would you do if you saw the person who ruined your life dying in front of you? Caleb never spoke during 2 years of group therapy for abuse survivors, so when he called that afternoon with that unnaturally calm voice, I knew something was wrong. Avery, I need you at Lincoln High School right now. The police want to question me about something involving Rebecca Coleman because she fell down a stairwell and I happened to be there. My blood went cold at the mention of her name, knowing everything Caleb had told us through written notes about the teaching assistant who destroyed his life when he was 15, whose word everyone believed over his, who drove him to attempt taking his life twice. Caleb, what did you? I started, but he cut me off. Just come to room 204. You're the only person who'll understand. The line went dead, leaving me 40 minutes to wonder what could have broken through 2 years of therapy progress. When I arrived at 1:45 p.m. with classes in session, the entire C wing was blocked off with yellow tape while crime scene technicians swarmed the area. I found Caleb in the administrative conference room sitting across from 2 detectives, his hands perfectly still on the table, not even the nervous fidgeting I'd seen in every group session. Detective Morrison looked stern as he acknowledged my arrival. Avery, Caleb requested you be present. Given his documented history of accusations against Miss Coleman, we need to be thorough here. The younger detective added grimly, Miss Coleman is in critical condition with a skull fracture, broken spine, and internal bleeding that may leave her paralyzed if she survives. Morrison leaned forward deliberately. Caleb, we've seen your file, all those complaints about Coleman from 3 years ago. Now she's barely alive and you just happened to be there. Tell us what really happened. Caleb turned to me with an expression I'd never seen before. Pure, cold satisfaction. The boy who barely whispered his name when he first joined us was suddenly articulate, his voice steady. I was in the right place at the wrong time, he began matter-of-factly. Walking to the library through C wing because it's always empty during 5th period, and she was coming down as I was going up. Then what? Morrison pressed, his suspicion obvious. When she saw me, she immediately started backing up the stairs in those ridiculous heels she always wore, the same kind she had on when she'd lock her classroom door during our tutoring sessions and tell me I was special. His jaw tightened. The same heels she wore when she convinced everyone that a troubled 15-year-old was making things up about their beloved teaching assistant. The detectives exchanged meaningful glances before Morrison asked, That's quite a coincidence, Caleb. She just happens to fall right when you show up. Her heel caught because she was backing up too quickly, and when she grabbed for the railing, she missed and went backward hard. Her head hit 3 different steps on the way down. The sound was wet, like cracking eggs. The younger detective shifted uncomfortably. What did you do then? Caleb's lips twitched slightly. She was conscious but making gurgling sounds while blood came from her ears, and I remembered the same whining noise she'd make when I told her I hated being touched, how she'd cry that I didn't love her anymore, that I was ungrateful. Morrison's expression hardened. Did you call for help? What's the point? For once, she was the one begging and no one was listening. The room went silent before the younger detective cleared his throat and pulled up Caleb's old file. Your complaints were thoroughly investigated and dismissed because she cried in the principal's office and said I had a crush on her, Caleb finished bitterly. She got promoted while my parents spent thousands on therapy after I tried to kill myself twice because nobody would believe me. The detective pulled out an iPad with barely controlled anger. We have security footage of everything, and given your history with her, you better hope it matches your story. Check it, Caleb said calmly, leaning back in his chair like he'd been waiting for this moment for 3 years. Morrison hit play, clearly expecting to catch Caleb lying, but as we watched, everything happened exactly as described. Rebecca saw him, backed up in fear, and fell without Caleb ever touching her. The footage showed him standing there watching her writhe in agony, then he did something that made everyone gasp. He carefully stepped over her body and walked away. You left her there to die, Morrison said hollowly, while the younger detective's mouth fell open. Caleb smiled with cold satisfaction. She was reaching for me with her good arm, the other bent backward, begging for help the same way I once begged for someone to believe me. He picked up his backpack casually. I stepped over her carefully because I didn't want blood on my new shoes, and I had a calculus test, 6th period. Morrison played the footage again in disbelief. This is sick. I can't believe you didn't say anything. Caleb turned back and actually laughed. Last time I tried to tell people about something involving her, no one helped. So why would they this time? That line stuck with me.